So first, what I taught you people, that what is the control, what is the coordination, what is the movement, and all these things. We have discussed all these things, control and coordination in plant. Then I was telling you that the type of the movement, right? What kind of the movement takes place in plant? Like what are the type of the movement, right? So who's there? Who else is there? Amna, was you there in last class? Hello, Amna? I can't hear you. Please. Hello, Amna? Please open your mic. Hello, Martin. And I'm unable to listen you as well. Except I'm not getting anyone response. Okay, Amna. Okay, you was there, right? Fine. So what we were supposed to do today? Tell me if you was there. I told you the movement, and we started with the tropic move. We started with the type of the movement in plant. Message me what we did in last class. Yes, Martin.
Hello, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
It took a long time to connect. So tell me what we did in last class.
Because we started in chart.
Sorry. Come on, guys. Didn't remember what we did in last class.
Oh, we finished the chart, sir.
Plant movement. I told you plant movement. It means you haven't revised. You both people haven't revised. If you are unable to tell, it means you haven't revised that. Oh, I got someone's response. We studied about the reflex actions. Huh? Reflex action? No, not reflex action. No, I didn't taught that reflex action. Look, last class, let me remind you, last class I started with the plant movement. I said that there are two kind of the movement. Let me recall you what I told you. Look, I said in the plant movement, there are two kind of the movement. Not reflex action. I taught you what are the reflexes. Reflex. So I mean, try to understand, because this is your first class. So I want you to focus over here. In case if you are not getting any point, then you let me know. Fine. I said, what are the reflexes? What are the reflexes? You must have listened this term frequently, that his reflexes are very fast and his reflexes are very slow and all that. So what are the reflexes? Look, suppose that I touch any hot object, I'm just pulling back my hand. That is the reflexes, right? And that action was reflex action. We'll study this thing separately in nervous system, right? That is in your syllabus. I'll teach you. But right now I'm talking about the reflexes, right? So what are the reflexes, or what are the stimulus? Rather than reflexes, I want to tell you stimulus. We'll talk later about the reflexes. What are the stimulus? Somebody poke a pen at my back. What I'll do, I'll just shock, get shocked, and I'll respond it. So if I'm getting a very direct light on my face, like the car light, bike light directly on my face. So what I'll do, I'll put my hand like this way, right? So these were the stimulus. That light was the stimulus, that pin was the stimulus, that hot object was the stimulus, right? So all these things were stimulus. Then what are the stimulus actually? How we can define the stimulus? You must have listened about the plant. The name of the plant is touch me not plant, right? Touch me not plant, you must have seen, if you touch that plant, its leaf will close down, right? So that was a type of reflex, right? So what is the reflex? So what is the stimulus? So stimulus is any kind of the physical or chemical change which takes place and against which any organism respond. That is called a stimulus. That's what I told you people. Do you remember that? Hamna and Sizo? Then I told you the plant movement are of two types. The first kind of the plant movement, that was the nastic movement. Remember, nastic movement. And another kind of the movement, that is a tropic movement. Tropic movement. Then I told you that the nastic movement are those movements which do not have any direction. Means direction is not defined in these movements, right? So that is called nastic movement. And tropic movement, I told, and nastic movement, one more thing, they are non-growth movement, or rather than non-growth, we can say they are not growth movement, right? They are not growth movement. Then I told you, do you remember all this point or not, Martin and Hamna?
Yes, sir. Tropic
Tropic movement, I told that these were what? Directional movement. Means they have direction, right? Then I told you that they are the growth movement. They take place due to growth. Then what I told you, that I taught you a movement that is called thigmonastic movement. So type of nastic movement, first type of nastic movement I taught you, thigmonastic. I taught or not? You don't note it down? Thigmonastic movement, Sizo?
We wrote plastic movement.
Nastic movement. Didn't wrote the thigmonastic movement?
Yeah, we wrote.
Okay.
Response to touch.
Okay, right. Response to touch, right? Then there is one more nastic movement, photonastic movement. Photothermonastic movement. Did we did that? Yes. Thermonastic movement. Yes. So there are basically two type of the movement. Thigmonastic movement that take place due to touch, and I told you the example Mimosa pudica. Photothermonastic movement that take place due to the day. Photonastic movement when sun rises, flower open, when sun sets, flower closes down. There is no direction, but that is a type of movement, and even that is not a growth movement. That is called photonastic movement and thigmonastic movement, right? So these were the nastic movement which we discussed, right? Today I was supposed to tell you that is a tropic movement. Yes, clear? So let's talk about the tropic movement. Okay, so what are the basically tropic movement? Tell me, Suzu. I just told you the tropic movement. Tropic movement. Come on, guys. Please put the heading tropic movement. Okay. Tropic movement. I told you they are the movement tropic movement. So tropic movement are those movement. Look, first I want to tell you what are the actually tropic movement. These movement they have. I will explain this movement with the help of a diagram, right, or with the help of example. So what is the example of tropic movement? Then I'll explain. For sake of example, you must have seen that the flower sunflower, right? So when we talk about the sunflower, so suppose that this is sunflower. This is sunflower, right? It's a sunflower, right? This is sunflower. what will happen? It will always follow the direction of sun, right? Its face always be where? Its face always be in the direction of sun, right? It will always have its face in the direction of sun. Wherever the sun will go, it will move, right? So what is that? Its response is that in the direct, what is the direction? It is positively towards the light, right? It is moving in the direction of light, right? So when it is moving towards the light, it is a directional movement. It have a direction. What direction? Towards the light. Even it may be against the light, right? So this flower, so always every plant or the top part of the plant always move in the direction of sun. If there is a plant, suppose that for sake of example, this is a house, and in this house you must have seen this is house. In this house, what is that? There is a window, right? There is no, this is a house, there is a window, right? Put a plant over here, and there is no other source of light, right? Source of light is not present. There is a gamlo, and if you will put a gamlo, and in a gamlo implant a plant. When you implant a plant, suppose that there is a plant, so this is a plant, right? You will see after some days that the plant, the top part of the plant, it will start moving in the direction of light. It will always go in the direction of towards the light, right? Okay. And one more important thing, so we can say they are moving towards the light, so that is the positively positive movement. When it is, so what is the light? Light is a type of stimulus, right? Light is a type of stimulus. So when any plant move in the direction of stimulus, right, we that is a positive movement. One more important, right? So what we say, I'll tell you, we call this movement phototropic movement or positive phototropic movement, right? So this is positive phototropic movement. Why? Because this movement is towards in the direction of the light, right? So positive photo means light, tropic because this is a directional movement, positive phototropic movement because these both movements are taking towards in the direction of light. So if any plant part is moving towards the direction of light, we will call it positive phototropic movement. So is there any negative phototropic movement? Yes, there is a negative phototropic movement as well. What kind of the movement? Look, this is a sunflower plant. The top part of the sunflower, it always moves in the direction of sun, but the roots always move against the direction of sun light, right? Against the direction of sun light. So this is the negative movement. So what I will say, because this is movement against the stimulus, right? This movement was towards the stimulus, this movement is against the stimulus. So what will we will call? We will call it negative phototropic movement. So positive phototropic movement, negative phototropic movement. So what are the tropic movement? Tropic movement are always directional. They have a particular direction. They have a fixed direction. That direction may be towards the stimulus or against the stimulus, right? So that is called directional movement. Did you got that point, both of you, Amna and Martin?
Yes, sir. What?
Right. Okay. What about you, Hamna? Got it? Hamna? Okay. Fine. Great. So look. So now start writing. Put the heading tropic movement. A growth movement of plant part. Growth movement of a plant part in response to a plant part in response to external stimulus, in response to external stimulus in which direction of stimulus determines the direction of a stimulus, determine the direction of response. Direction of response is called tropism, or tropic movement is called tropism, or tropic movement. Right? Fine. Okay. Tropic movement are also called tropism. Tropic movement are also called tropism, and it is a directional movement. It is a directional movement. Next point. Tropism may be of two types. Tropism may be of two types. First, positive tropism. First, positive tropism. So I have already explained that thing, and after the writing down, you have to make this diagram, right? Positive tropism. If the growth or movement, is taking place, if growth or movement is taking place, towards the stimulus, it is called positive tropism. It is called,
You repeat, sir?
if the growth or movement is taking place towards the stimulus, it is called positive tropism. Next, second one. So tropism is of two types. Second one, that is negative tropism. If the growth or movement, of plant part, if growth or movement of a plant part is away from stimulus, if growth or movement of plant part is away from stimulus, then it is called negative tropism. It is called negative tropism. Right, now make this diagram, make a clean diagram. This is just a vague diagram. So please make this diagram which is visible in your board. Then I'll tell you the type of tropic movement. So tropism, basically tropism may be two types: positive tropism, negative tropism. Let me know when you complete. Okay, no issue.
Right answer.
Okay, done. Fine. So fine. So now the next heading will be, that is type of. First, I'll tell you the type of tropic movement, right? So you can put the heading. Next heading is type of tropic movement, and I have told you that tropic movement are also known as tropism. So you can also call the type of tropism. Tropism, right? So there are 5 type of tropism basically on the basis of stimulus, right? So if it is responding, or if the stimulus is light, right, then we call it, if the stimulus is light, then we will call it, if it is responding to light, we will call it phototropism or phototropic movement. We call it phototropism or phototropic movement or phototropism or phototropic movement, right? Second, if it is in the direction of gravity, or if it is responding to the gravity, then we will call it geotropism or geotropic. Geotropism or geotropic. Geotropic. Right. The third type of the movement, that is if it is responding to the chemical, that may be any type of the chemical, nutrient, that may be any other thing, right? So this is called chemotropism. Chemotropism, or we can also call it chemotropic. Chemotropic tropic move. Right. The fourth kind of the movement, that is, if it is this movement is due to the stimulus of water, then you can call it hydrotropism, or hydrotropic movement. Hydrotropic move. Right. The fifth kind of the movement, that is this movement. If this movement is due to the touch, we call it thigmotropism. Listen, the movement we studied day before, like in the last class, that was the thigmonastic movement. Here, this is the thigmotropic movement. So, if that movement is taking due to touch, and if it do not have direction, it will be thigmonastic movement. If the movement is taking place due to touch, but if it have direction, then we will call it thigmotropic movement or thigmotropism. Thigmotropism or thigmotropic movement. Thigmotropic. Right. Please write it down, then I'll tell you. I'll explain all these things. Please note it down, all these movements, and let me know. Done? Note it down? Done?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let's start. Should I start, Hamna? Done? Hamna and Arshia. Note it down? Should we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let's start the first one. Put the heading first one, phototropism or phototropic movement, right? So start one by. So the next one is phototropism. Photo, right? Or phototropism or phototropic. So look, I have already explained you, but let me explain you again. The example which I given you, that was the phototropic movement. If this movement is taking place towards the direction of light, then we will call it positive phototropic movement. And if it is taking place against the direction of light, we'll call negative phototropic movement. So phototropic. So for the sake of example, I told you that this is a plant. This is a gamlo, and in this gamlo there is a plant, right? For example, this is a plant, and this plant is moving towards the direction of light. Right? So this is moving towards the direction of light, right? So what is the stimulus? Light is a stimulus. This is light. What is light? Light is a type of stimulus. Light is a stimulus, right? And this plant is moving towards the direction of light. So we will call positive phototropism, right? Positive phototropism. So tip of the plant, right? They always show positive phototropic movement. But in the same time, we can see the roots always grow against the direction of light, right? They always grow against the direction of light. So they are moving in this direction, right? Away in this direction. So they are moving away from light. So we can say they are negative phototropic movement, photo or negative phototropism, right? So negative, these roots are the example of negative phototropism, and shoots are the example of positive phototropism, right? So you can please make this diagram, then I'll explain you. So if the movement is taking place due to light, this is phototropism. If it is towards the direction of light, it is positive phototropism. If it is against the direction of light, this is negative phototropism. Done.
Phototropic, yes, sir.
Okay, so start writing. The movement of plant part, the movement of plant part in response to light, the movement of plant part in response to light is called phototropism. Is called phototropism.
Can you repeat?
The movement of plant part, the movement of plant part in response to light, the movement of plant part in response to light is called phototropism. Full stop. If the plant part, if the plant part moves in the direction of light, if the plant part moves in the direction of light, it is called phototropism. It is called phototropism. Full stop. If the plant part moves, if the plant part moves against the or away from, moves away from the direction of light, if the plant part moves away from the direction of light, it is called negative phototropism. It is called negative phototropism. Full stop. Example: the shoot of plant always shows, the shoot of plant always shows positive phototropism. The shoot of plant always shows the positive phototropism, and the root of plant always shows negative phototropism. Negative phototropism. Right? So this was the phototropism. Your next heading will be geotropism, right? The second one is geotropism. Let me explain you the geotropism. It will be easy for me to explain you, because this is something like the same way we explain this one, the movement due to light, right? Phototropism. So suppose that this is a ground, right? This is a ground. And this ground, look, this is a plant. This is a plant, right? And this plant part now here you can see that gravity, the direction of gravity is towards the center of sun, right? Center of earth, right? So this is the earth. So these roots are moving towards the gravity, right? So they are moving towards the gravity, towards gravity. So they are moving. So what is the stimulus here? Let me make you more clear. What is the stimulus? Here stimulus is gravity, right? So gravity is here stimulus, right? Now the roots are moving towards the gravity, so they are positively geotropic. Geo means earth, right? So positively geotropic. So this is the geotropic move, right? And positive geotropic. In the same way, shoot always moves against the gravity. So this is away from the gravity, away from the gravity. So shoot always move away from the gravity. So we can say negative geotropism. So we can conclude one thing, that what we can conclude when we talk about the shoot of plant, right? So shoot of plant is always positively phototropic, but negative geotropic. In the same way, if we talk about the root, so there is just opposite. So what about the roots? Roots are always positive geotropic and negative phototropic. They go towards the gravity. So this is the second kind of the movement, that is a geotropic, right? Geotropism. Please make the diagram, then I'll explain the same thing for you, right? Geotropism, and this diagram was of phototropism. Did you got this concept or not? Tell me, all of you. Martin, Arshia, and
Geotropism is movement of plant towards
Hamna.
down.
Yes, yes, Shizu. Movement of plant. Shizu, was you asking something? Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So start coding now. The movement of plant part, the movement of plant part, the movement of plant part in response to gravity, the movement of plant part in response to gravity, the movement of plant part in response to gravity is called geotropism. Full stop. If the plant part moves, if the plant part moves in the direction of gravity, if the plant part moves in the direction of gravity, it is called positive geotropism. Example, roots. Next point. If the plant part moves against the direction of gravity, if the plant part moves against the direction of gravity, we call it direction of gravity, we call it negative geotropism. Example, plant shoot part. Now I have a question for you, for all of you. Is there any root which moves away from the gravity or negative geotropic? Is there any root in the world which is negative geotropic?
No, sir.
No. Arshia, what about you? Is there any root which is negative? Exceptions are always there in biology, and they're very interesting. Amna, is there any root? Yes, there are certain kind of the plant. These plant, those plant are found in. They are found in like a deltaic region basically, and those roots are called actually rhizophora. So rhizophora are a type of the root. They grow like this way against the gravity. To breathe, they have a small pores, right? And they help in the breathing of root, right? Because they are found in the muddy region, right? So these rhizophora roots are the negative geotropic. They grow against gravity. Negative geotropic, right? This is the exception in the world. There is only one kind of plant. These plants are found only in deltaic regions. And basically these plants are called, so rhizophora is a type of root. These plants are called mangrove plant. So mangrove plant have a special kind of the root which help them to breathe. So for breathing, these roots come out of the ground against the gravity, and they are negatively geotropic. We call these roots mangrove plant roots, special roots. We call them rhizophore, right? So this was these two kind of the tropic movement. In the next class, I'll teach you rest of the that is a chemotropic movement, hydrotropic movement, thigmotropic movement. So now tell me, so whatever we have studied, did you got all the points? Martin, Arshia, and Hamna, all clear? Noted down everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll start. Fine, that's great. Okay, great. So let's meet in the next class, and you have to remind me and always keep on revising all those concepts which I teach you in the class, right? So bye bye, good night, take care. See you next class, and please be in time. Always join the class 2 minutes before the 2 minutes or 5 minutes before the class. At least 2 minutes, because this time it takes lots of the time. Most of the time your microphone connection takes lots of time, right? Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So bye bye. Take care. Good night.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Welcome, Martin.